What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well, and if you are watching on YouTube, you can tell I'm in a different location. Now look, don't let that upset you. I've moved house. I'm in a new flat now. Everything's going to be a little bit different for a while. There's a little bit more of an echo. I do apologize. Just got to sort things out. But yeah, today is no different to the usual stuff on my channel. Got a fantastic Best of Redditor updates episode for you, in which this girl friend zones her supposed boyfriend in the best possible way. It's a pretty amazing story. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. I am an 18-year-old woman, and I've apparently been dating my best friend, a 19-year-old man, for an entire year, but I didn't know until today. I need help asking him about it. This is going to be such a suffering from successful post, but bear with me for a second. I've known him for 5 years, different classes and courses, but the same friend group. Over time, he's genuinely become one of the best people I know, and it's only getting better every day. I can't lie and say he's not my type. Nerdy, charming, sweet, funny, flirty with the right amount of awkward. He comes to pick me up from class, plays hockey without being a douchebag to the skaters, and most importantly, gets treats for my cats. Multiple strangers have mistaken us for a couple, even close people like our friends, professors, and worst of all, my family. He's kind of perfect, but I've never even thought of putting the moves on him. He's never shown romantic interest in me. We're friends, nothing more. Or that's what I thought. Today, he was spending the afternoon at my dorm, something he started about a year ago now. We're laying on my bed, mindlessly watching Sonic cartoons, when he says, verbatim, "So baby, where do you want to go this Friday?" Matter of fact, this is the first time I've been called baby by him, so that kinda shocked me. Instead of asking why, I froze and was just like, what's happening Friday? He turns to me and kisses me. Again, first time thing with us. He hugs my waist and goes, "Our 1 year anniversary, idiot. I'm making reservations." At this point, I'm frozen. I genuinely don't know what to say. I'm gobsmacked. The dude I thought was my best friend, who never even showed interest in the dating thing, is under the idea that we've been dating for a whole year. I'm silent while he continues hugging me and scrolling on his phone, racking my brain thinking about what to tell him when his phone starts ringing. It's his mum, who he puts on speaker, and she actually goes, "Hi, are you still with your girlfriend?" Oh, so now his mum thinks we're dating too? He tells her yes and asks why she called. She asks for his help with private stuff I won't divulge here, but he turns to me and goes, "Sorry, I'll be back in a bit, sweetheart." I just nodded. I was just like, alright, see you in a bit. No questions, no screaming, just acceptance. He gets up to put on his sneakers and leans down to kiss me again, which I just accept at this point. It's a nice kiss, despite the fact that my mind is somewhere else. He leaves and I get a text from his coach. "Tell boyfriend's name to come tomorrow at 7. He'll only listen if it's you." What do you mean only me? You're the responsible adult tasked with training these hockey players. Why do you depend on me bringing him to you? But that led me to a rabbit hole of finding out who knows we're dating. Apparently, the majority of the people I talk to think we're dating. Or if I'm being correct here, know we're dating and just have never mentioned it to me. I don't think it's a prank, solely on the fact that his mum called me his girlfriend. They don't have the closest relationship. She is a very traditional, conservative, and religious Korean woman, always serious and does not play around. When she realized early on that her son did not agree with many of her opinions, she stopped caring for him to the fullest, only keeping it civil for the rest of the family and friends. There's nothing he could have done to have her go along with something like this, especially when she wants him to marry young with a nice Korean girl, which I'm not. Also, he just doesn't seem like the guy to play with people like this. He might be dumb and oblivious, but not horrible. I don't know what to do now. I mean, he's a great guy, don't get me wrong, and if the last 5 years are anything to go by, he would be, or is, a great boyfriend, maybe even in the future, a husband. But I've never looked at him that way, so I can't say I love him. When this occurred, it was like the glass shattered and I saw how differently he looked at me. How he talked and acted, stuff that never changed since the beginning, but for some reason, I've never noticed. I can't sit here and pretend I love him like that. I wasn't thinking about him in that sense all this time. But on the other side, I don't want to hurt him. He clearly thinks we've been together for that long, so he has to have strong feelings for me, and I don't want to step on them and scar him like that. I can't just keep dating him though, something that I've apparently been doing for a year. I could learn to love him eventually. It wouldn't take much, to be honest, but it wouldn't be fair to him or me. In my defense, who dates someone and just doesn't ask them about it? If the roles were reversed and a year ago something happened where I was like, oh my, I love him. This was probably a date. We're probably dating right now. I would have confirmed with him, or at the very least said something for the following year, not only at the 1 year mark. I just don't know what to do. I'm scared and angry, disappointed in myself for not recognizing the situation sooner. I feel like I'm stuck between the sword and the wall. The last thing I want is to hurt him, but I also don't want to lie to him. How should I go on about this with him? Now, my immediate thoughts are that this may be possibly the most unbelievable friend zoning that I've ever come across. So unbelievable, in fact, that you didn't even know it was going on. And that just makes it even funnier. Like, it's very harsh on this guy. I don't know if he's just being strange. I completely agree with OP. Like, you would always ask, or at least like, you'd know you're dating, wouldn't you? You wouldn't just say after a year, hey baby, it's our 1 year anniversary, and they're like, what's going on? But anyway, as I said, this is best of Redditor updates, so let's see what happens next. Actually, before we jump into the update, first of all, there are a couple of relevant comments from this user, Wish Gullible, who actually asked some great questions. I can understand the not kissing, they say, from a religious point of view. I can understand the take it slow from a purely conservative dating standpoint. But I cannot, on the other hand, understand why you have no pet names for each other. Is anyone from Korea? How do you guys do stuff over there? Maybe it's a cultural thing though, and a year was long enough to move the relationship along? How does he pinpoint the anniversary? Did anything change 1 year ago, OP? And then OP replied, I'm white, and he wasn't born in Korea, but his family still holds traditions even in a foreign country. There were no pet names, because there was no relationship, it was never even suggested. Nothing really changed a year ago, worth noting. I went back to check on messages and Google Photos, nothing important. I've already sent him a message to meet up after practice and he said yes. So I'll have a talk with him soon. And then a couple of days later, we get this update. Turns out he's just dumb and sad. Or maybe crazy and psychotic. I did give him way too much benefit of the doubt. I read a lot of comments and messages that were sent to me privately on what I should do. Big thank you to everyone. The majority of you were nice and helpful. Also, big sorry for the sweet lady wishing me a happy future marriage. Not happening soon. And to the people saying it was fake, if I'd created a good love story, I would have sold it to Netflix or HBO Max or Wattpad instead of being a loser and asking Reddit for fake help. Hey, I'll be honest with you, people do that. So, yeah. I brought it up to my psychiatrist and I showed her the Reddit post I made, a few of the messages I've received, and she basically had the attitude of, hey, remember that great guy? Well, he's a POS now. So let's learn about moving on and not reminiscing on a broken friendship, which I think is the best way to go on about this. Now, to be honest, I don't remember much because I wanted to cry from the moment he started talking. Also, I was quiet and only spoke very little because I did not want to make it a bigger scene than it already was. I just let him talk for a few hours and then dipped. Towards the end, he was shouting and unpredictable. People were looking, and I just wanted to go home. I decided that we should meet up in a public space. Before his practice, I sent him a text and asked if he wanted to meet up at a coffee shop that we both know. He called, said yes, and, you sound serious. Should I be worried? To which I said, honestly, yes, you should. He told me then to stop joking and then went on to his practice. Fast forward a couple of hours, I'm sitting there and he comes in, sits in front of me and thanks me for the food I ordered him. We start eating. I'm a nervous wreck and he realizes, which led to him asking, are you really okay? You didn't seem good a while ago. And from what you said, I'm actually worried now. So I lay it out on him. I ask him why he thinks we're dating. Why does everyone else? And what led to him thinking that? Now he's just quiet and I'm just looking at him, not saying anything. Stuff after this is a bit fuzzy because I just wanted to cry. This next stuff came very out of the blue for me as well. It's just kind of weird looking back on it. He says something like, I didn't really think we could actually date if I asked you up front. To which I said, that's how relationships usually work though? You ask? To which this led him on a tangent about women in general. Opinions that he shared with me and said to my eyes with no regrets. What I saw in front of me was no longer my best friend of 5 years. It was a boy who grew up to be a man and to have a very damaging idea of women. stuff that I could assign to immaturity, but he had nicer things to say when he was 14 than what he was saying to me now. I just interrupted him and asked what led him to think about women this way, since he never let his family, most predominantly his mother, influence him into these antiquated ideas. To be honest, I don't think even the most conservative woman in the world would say what he said, but his mother still has some not so nice beliefs about women. He was quiet for a while, and that did give me some pity. Until he opened that mouth of his again. You know, there's these podcasts. Oh my days. What a time to plug my podcast, guys. If you didn't know, I also post these YouTube videos on all podcast platforms. And let me tell you, I'm not as bad as this guy, in my opinion. It's up to you to judge. Give me a 5-star review. Let's carry on. Anyway, that let me know everything I needed to. Oh, so you're a Tate fanboy now. He starts arguing and yelling that it's not him, but that they know what's right and wrong, how things should be, and to be honest, I'm not really listening to him at this point. I just want to get out of there and cry. I'm listening, but nothing is registering. Some of the milder things he started yelling are about women and our relationship with food and how we should have a limited amount, how we're so vulnerable and emotional, ready to blame men for everything, and how we start yelling at every minute inconvenience, which is funny in hindsight. How menstrual stuff was a hoax, and that I was no doubt lying when I couldn't walk from my period pains because I wanted his attention, and that no girl can possibly feel a greater pain than a man. He also said that when we're talking about his course, something to do with car parts, it was not cute and sweet of me, let alone women in general, to act dumb and pretend I'm clueless, because that does not make me more appealing. I genuinely, though, don't freaking know how a car works. My freaking bad. I tell him that if this is all a big joke, it's not funny. He interrupts me and talks about how he listens to these men but doesn't tell anyone because he knows that me and our friends wouldn't agree. He tells me that I'm not a perfect woman, whatever that means, but that he still would like to date me but couldn't tell me because I'd say no and ruin his fantasy. I'm crying now and people are noticing, so I just want to get out of there immediately. I tell him, not verbatim, but along these lines, "You're so freaking stupid. You genuinely could have dated me if only you'd asked. You could have had everything, but you started listening to opinions of guys who have nothing. How sad can you be to pull a stunt like this instead of asking like a normal person?" He starts yelling that I'm wrong and they know what is right, starting a whole rant that I don't have the strength to listen to. I stand up, start walking, and he grabs my arm. More people are staring. I tell him to let go, and he only does when I threaten to call the police. I left telling him to never speak to me again. I'm now home. I've blocked him on everything and told some friends what happened. They were all shocked by how he acted and what he said. One guy did tell me he was always easy to influence though. I asked why they thought we were dating, and they told me it was how we acted like a couple. I guess that one is on me, but that's combined with the fact that he told them yes when they asked, and since the behavior checked out, they just never thought to talk about it with me. I'm not responding to any of them right now. To be honest, I'm moving cities in a few months with my family. I used to cry about it non-stop because I'd have to leave all my friends here, including him, and that was the last thing I wanted. But now I'm kind of glad I don't have to worry about bumping into him. I just feel distraught. Like, that was a nice friendship. It was a pillar of my childhood, and now it's just gone. He said and did some nasty things, even if it was in the span of a few hours. If up until moving he comes up to me personally or tries to pick me up from class, I'll repeat that I do not want him in my life anymore. If push comes to shove, I'll call the police. Not that I think they'd do anything. I'm also sharing my location with both my older brother and father. Yes, it might be a bit delusional and not needed, but you never know. He was a great guy, and we did have a good friendship up until he decided to view women as objects and date one without asking because he deserves it. I just can't stop crying. I really thought I knew him, and for him to be able to spew those words and opinions at me like that, stuff he's always been against from what I remember, it was shocking. It's only been a few hours, but it's already weird not having that constant text or call happening. I feel like it's kind of empty, but I don't want someone like that next to me. The worst for me is that I see no change. He has no sisters, and his mother does somewhat think that way as well, and so does his father. Maybe Coach could help, but I don't know. I just feel betrayed, I guess. It feels stupid to say, but it's true. I mean, I get men like this every single day. Every girl does. It goes from professors who know me to drivers who are seeing me for the first time. Comments vary from just telling me I'm pretty to more gruesome stuff, I'm used to it. I just never expected it to be someone so close to me that I trusted. I don't know when he started thinking like this, but now it has me feeling all gross and dirty. If he thinks like this about me and never said it, I don't even want to know what he thinks about our mutual trans friend, what his opinions are actually like when he's always been nice and respectful to her. It does help me chuckle a bit that some of the things he said were just so textbook misogyny that it seems he learned them on a Joker Sigma Instagram account. That is so stupid, it's kind of hilarious if you omit the part where he said that R is not a real problem. Wow, he went to those lengths? That is nuts. So that is that. I thought I had a nice friend by my side, but guess not. Never trust a guy, even if you grew up with him, they'll disappoint you eventually. And there we go, that is the end of that one. I can't say I completely agree with that last sentence, but I will say and cede that guys like this do give other normal men and nice people, guys, a bad rep. And yeah, there's not really too much that we can do about that. To be honest, I got into this story and I was thinking that it was going to be kind of funny. Like a guy getting let down after just really thinking that someone was actually his girlfriend for a year with her just having no idea. And although that is kind of what transpired, in reality, I don't know, are we just seeing the destruction of a lot of men personified, exemplified in this one guy due to TikTok and YouTube Shorts, I even say, and people like Andrew Tate just giving people the wrong impression? I don't know. That's up to you. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you reckon? Do you think misogyny is getting worse because of the internet? I'm all ears myself. Personally, I probably think it is. Now, before I end today's episode, first of all, I have some charity shout-outs. We are now at £3,654 raised. If you guys didn't know, I am running the London Marathon in now under 5 weeks. And I'm trying to raise as much money as possible for the charity you can see on screen, Kids. It's an amazing charity. You've heard me talk about them all before. Let's get into the shout-outs. You get a shout-out if you donate the minimum amount. One donation, link down below, and you get a shout-out. Just like these people. Nathan, keep up the great work, by the way. This is the same from the last one. Wow, Nathan, with another $10 donation. Thank you very much. Alexi loves listening to the podcast on Spotify. Once again, I do upload these videos in podcast format on Spotify, Apple, and whatever you want. All your podcast platforms. Go check it out. Search Redditor and I'll be there. Today at the store, Alexi made the decision to leave the energy drink and donate. There you go. Spend €50 on Prime or donate to charity. I know what I'd do. Amazing you're doing this for the cause. Love from Finland. Much love to you, Alexi. Much love. Nichelle is back again. Oh my gosh. I got a new job and I wanted to share my new wealth with this charity. You're amazing and it just gives me another purpose to be happy. Second only to my 2 kids, my amazing husband, and my new job. Wow, I mean, to be fair, Nichelle, sounds like life's going very well for you right now. Amazing spot to be in. And thank you so much for another donation. Unbelievable. What is this, your 4th or your 5th donation? No doubt that Nichelle has donated more in terms of frequency of times than anyone else, and therefore has more shout outs than anyone else. That is just how it works. Now let's move on to the Howling Gamer, who has donated $100. Fully support the cause, man. People have it hard enough these days without having a disability. Also, a shout out would be appreciated. Looking to start a Minecraft group playthrough on Xbox. Bro, for $100 I would do much more than a shout out. Let's leave it at that. Anyone want to get involved in a Minecraft group playthrough on Xbox? Comment down below. The Howling Gamer will be there and he might just sign you up if you're good at PvP. Genuinely though, the Howling Gamer. Unreal donation. Thank you so much for making a huge contribution. Gail totally enjoys listening to the vids every day. You remind me so much of my grandson. He too has a kind and caring heart. Well, that's very kind of you, Gail. Much love to him. I wish you the best of luck in the marathon. Wish I could give more. $10 is phenomenal. And as I say, if everyone watching this video donated $10, we would smash the target in about 2 seconds. So Gail, thank you so much. Anonymous, good luck legging it. Hope you don't need the luck. There we go. Is it worth $10 to have to read out those puns? Just, and only just, because I do like a good pun. Those were awful, but thank you very much for the donation. Leslie B, hi Redditor Jack. I watch your videos pretty much every day. In fact, you've read out one of my own Reddit stories on your channel before. Wow, incredible stuff. It must have been a good one. So I thought I'd chip in a $5 for you. Good luck. Leslie, thank you not only for the story, but also for the amazing donation. Legend. Remus, as someone with autism who has been to heck and back because of it, I appreciate what you're doing. It may not be much, but I hope it helps. Remus, thank you so much. And finally, Philly loves listening to the pods while at work. Philly has a daughter who has a rare disability, and what you're doing is an awesome thing. Keep it going, and much love from North Carolina. $5, huge, thank you very much. Also, shout out North Carolina, I've been there and I loved it. That's the end of the donations, and therefore the end of the video. Guys, thank you so much, and yeah, get in the description. The link is right there, whatever platform you're on, click it, donate, become a legend, and I'll see you all on the next one.